Hi there, Mike from Greenway. Today I wanted to talk to you about the reasons why I enjoy driving electric cars and why I choose to drive them. I've been driving electric vehicles since 2013 and I've learned a lot about them, and there's a few reasons that keep me inside electric vehicles instead of going back to gas or diesel vehicles. One of the top reasons that I enjoy driving electric vehicles is they're a lot of fun to drive. Um, the electric vehicles I drive are small, a Nissan Leaf, and normally a small car is not very powerful, not very quick, not very fast, and not very agile. But this is just not the case with the electric car. When you hit the accelerator, not the gas pedal, it accelerates rapidly, quickly, and instantaneously. There's no waiting for the transmission to shift down gears. And when you're accelerating, it really does accelerate quite rapidly. So it's a little bit surprising at first when you get into a small electric vehicle just how much power it has. And while it's making all this power, it's also very quiet as well. So there's no roaring of the engine or any additional noises that is being created. So it's a lot of fun to drive, and it's really zippy and peppy, easy to drive, and a lot of fun. Also, just because of the way the battery is laid out in the vehicle, most electric vehicles, their batteries are at the very bottom of the car or truck, and for that reason, they have a very low center of gravity, which makes them safer when you're doing corners and going around curves. So that also makes it handle a little bit better as well, even though it's not really intended to be a sports car. It does have better handling and can go a lot quicker around corners. Another reason I like electric vehicles is I don't have the smell of exhaust to deal with anymore. And like you, I grew up with gas vehicles, and I didn't really pay much attention to the exhaust smell until it disappeared. And I started driving my EV, and after a few months of driving it, the exhaust smell just wasn't there, and I didn't even notice. But when I got into someone else's gas car, I immediately noticed the exhaust smell, and it struck me how that disappeared and I didn't notice. And so I do enjoy the fact that I can get in the vehicle, start it up, and there's no exhaust smell coming out of the vehicle as well. Another reason I like electric vehicles is because I can fill it up at home. I can recharge at home. I don't need to stop at a gas station. And for those of you who are in cold climates, in the winter, filling up the gas at the gas station can be a bit chilly, of course, unless you go to a full serve. But what I do with my electric vehicle is as soon as I get home, I plug it in, and then it's fully charged by the morning. And I realize that some of the information you read says electric vehicles can take hours and hours to charge. And sometimes that can be the case, that's true. But I'm not standing beside it waiting for it to charge. I just simply plug it in overnight, let it recharge, and it's full in the morning. I treat it the same as my cell phone. I just plug it in at night, and it's full for me first thing in the morning. Where I live, we have hydroelectric power, and so it's a clean way to power the car. Just like this water tower, which creates water pressure through the power of gravity, the water going through the hydroelectric dam creates electricity, which I use to recharge my car. I realize in other areas, electricity is created through other means. Could be nuclear, could be coal, or other methods, which can be more polluting to the environment. But where I am, hydroelectric power is the primary source, and therefore I like to say my car runs on gravity, because the gravity is what allows the power to be created to power my car. Another reason I like to drive electric vehicles is because I'm saving money on fuel. Where I am, gas can be quite expensive, and the cost of the electric power is quite a bit cheaper. Our area, the hydroelectric power is around 8 cents per kilowatt hour, which is lower than average in the North American market. I think in North America, the average is around 15 cents per kilowatt hour, but in our area it is around 8. So it's quite a bit less expensive in that way. In addition, because of the gasoline cost, which is quite high, comparatively, the refueling cost of the electric vehicle on electricity versus gas is quite a bit less expensive. So I figure I'm paying around 2 cents per mile to fill up my electric car. And with my gasoline car, it's probably more like 12 to 15 cents per mile in gasoline cost to refill the car. Lastly, what I'd like to point out is because my car runs on hydroelectric or gravity-powered electricity, it's a savings to the environment. If you think of the cost of gasoline and the CO2 emissions, in addition to the production costs as well, whether it's like being extracted from the ground or from the tar sands, and those methods of extraction of gasoline can be quite energy intensive. And so the production, transportation, and distribution of gasoline, in addition to the CO2 created at the point of use when it's being burnt in the car, can be quite taxing on the environment. And so therefore, in my area where I have the hydroelectric power, I'm not creating any of those CO2 emissions at all. And so therefore, I feel better about using the electric car with the hydroelectric power that I'm using. I know that you can read some places that the production of electric cars does use heavy metals and other hazardous substances, and this is true. The production of an electric car, the building of an electric car, does create more emissions than a gas car up front. However, during the lifetime of the vehicle, during the tens of thousands of miles that are being driven, if you offset that by using hydroelectric power or other sources that have low CO2 emissions, your CO2 emissions overall for the life of the vehicle is going to be far under what it would be for a gasoline vehicle. So, what did you think about the reasons I like driving an electric vehicle? How about yourself? Do you have one? Why don't you leave me some comments below and let me know why you like driving an electric vehicle? I know they're not right for everyone, and so I understand that some of you still will choose to drive the vehicle of your choice, and I support you doing that. If you found this video to be informative or helpful, feel free to appreciate if you can give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks, and have a great day.